Oh, hello and welcome back to my home and to, yes, that is something that happened in the Bible. Now, for the last several weeks, we've been going through the book of Judges and going through all these very violent stories, and I thought we need a little bit of a change. So we're going back to the book of Genesis today. Now, there's been another nation that's been kind of reoccurring through these stories, and that's the nation of Moab. And so far, they've always been the bad guys. But did you know that Moab is actually a distant relative of the Israelite? So today we look at where Moab came from and the time that two daughters decided that since their father was preventing them from getting married, they would just have sex with him. Let's begin. So here's the scene. We are now east of ancient Israel, where Sodom and Gomorrah used to be. And it's here that we meet Lot and his daughters living in a cave. Red flag number 1. Lot is the nephew of Abraham. You know, Abraham who had many sons and... And if you're wondering why Lot currently is living in a cave, well, that's because he's kind of a coward. So right before Lot became a cave dweller, we read about the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, which are two cities that God destroyed. But before he destroyed them, he sent some angels to get Lot and his family out of there. So Lot, even though he just had 2 angels come and specifically save him, is still afraid that he's going to be destroyed, so he runs away into the hills and hides in a cave. You could say he has trust issues. Red flag number 2. This puts Lot's daughters in kind of a tricky position because you see, back then, getting married was the #1 way to secure your future, and having children so that you could carry on your family name was held in high regard. Of course, being locked away in a cave kind of makes it a little hard to date other people, and no one's gonna swipe right on them when they meet dear old dad. So the daughters decide to take matters into their own hands. Red flag number 3. Thus bringing us to our key verse for this story. This is Genesis 19:33. So they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father. He did not know when she lay down or when she arose. Let's unpack this. First, we need to talk about the fact that they had wine with them. You have to remember, they're now hiding in a cave, hiding away from everything. They ran away from a city that God was chucking fireballs at. They didn't have a lot of time to grab stuff. Now, I've never had to move really fast, like move my entire house in a day, but if I had to, I don't think wine would be one of the #1 things I'd grab. Board games, on the other hand, yeah. Second, that wine was really strong. Because I mean, not only does it get Lot drunk, it gets him so drunk that he doesn't even realize that the girl he's lying with is his own daughter. And remember, they're in a cave. There's no one else around. Finally, it says that this is the firstborn who did it, which means this isn't going to be the only time they try this out. In fact, 2 verses later, we read that the secondborn does the same thing. And if you've been wondering this whole time, where's their mom at? Well, she's a pillar of salt back on the road. So yeah, this is the perfect model of family values. So both daughters get to know their father, both daughters get pregnant, and the oldest daughter names her son Moab. And thus, you have the birth of a nation. The end. So what's the point of this story? If God sends angels to specifically save you from being destroyed with a city, maybe you should trust him. Also, isolating yourself away from the world because of fear is not a good response. And finally, if you ever have to run away from a city because God's chucking fireballs at it, don't bring the wine. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you have a story you would like me to tell, please leave it in a comment below. If you want to see any of my other videos, go ahead and click on any of the thumbnails that are on the screen. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week.